Okay, so OM System are also releasing, alongside the new OM1 II, a new telephoto lens, the new 150 to 600mm f5 to 6.3 IS lens. I've got it right here in my hands. I'm always super excited for lenses like this, right? A nice telephoto lens, but on a micro four thirds system. And the main reason for that is they're just not as heavy, not as big, not as burdensome, I guess you'd say, as a full frame lens with a kind of equivalent focal length. And you are getting so much reach out of a lens like this. Because it's a micro four thirds system, you are getting the equivalent of 300mm to 1200mm. So 300 to 1200, that's before you put any kind of teleconverter on there as well, which of course extends that out even further. That is exceptional, and that really allows you to get in very close to your subjects. Of course, this is perfect for stuff like wildlife and nature photography in general, but you could also use this for landscape, for all kinds of different stuff. We've seen the 100 to 400mm lens in the past, but this really extends that reach out even further. Now, it's not the smallest and the lightest lens I've ever used. As you can see, I'm not going to pretend it's like ridiculously small and light, but for the focal length that you're getting, 300 to 1200mm, not bad. I mean, really, really not bad. And I've been using this handheld pretty much exclusively, a little bit on the tripod as well, just to test out a few other features with the OM1 II. But really, this is a very hand-holdable lens, and I have had a lot of success photographing small birds, birds in flight, squirrels running around, so fast-moving subjects, still subjects. That's where that image stabilization really comes in handy. If you're using this with a subject that's not moving at all, like how a squirrel will freeze and either look at you, or a small bird might just stop perfectly on a branch, you can happily use a lower shutter speed with a lens like this because of that image stabilization. I found myself using shutter speeds all the way down to about 1/100th of a second with this. Now, you've got 7 stops of sync IS with this lens, 6 on the tele end, but it really does make a massive difference. And like I say, especially if you have a still subject, it really allows you to bring that shutter speed right down. It actually feels like a pro lens in the hands, to be honest with you, even though it's actually not officially a pro lens. It does kind of feel that way. It is an external zoom like that, but I think that's fine. It keeps it kind of nice and compact in your camera bag, which is an important feature, especially when you talk about such a long focal length like this. The actual feel of things like the zoom ring, that's a lovely, lovely grip on there. Nice rubberized grip, which is great if you, especially if you're wearing gloves as well. And you actually have a control for how weighted you want that to be. So of course you can lock that in place at the 150 end, but you can either have this kind of smooth, I guess S is for smooth, and then T is for kind of tight. If you do pop it on that T mode, it's just harder to turn, which is great if, number one, you don't want it to kind of sink down as you're kind of carrying it like that, but also if you want to be able to make smaller adjustments, it's easier to do that if it is a little bit tighter. So I think that's a great addition, having that control on there to be able to control the zoom ring. The actual image quality from this lens as well is lovely. It's really, really nice. Lovely and sharp. The resolution is fantastic. No weird kind of artifacting with the bokeh. It just looks fantastic. And it keeps up extremely well with the autofocus capabilities of the camera, like the OM1 II, which is really fast and incredibly accurate. So shooting with a high-speed sequential shooting mode on the OM1 II with the new AI subject detection, shooting those photos, continuous autofocus, this was absolutely more than capable of keeping up with that, which is great to see. A fantastic option for, like I say, wildlife, nature, something like that. Otherwise, controls on the lens, you've got really 3 other switches here. So 2 for focus and then 1 for the image stabilization. The image stabilization on and off, of course, AF, MF switch, and then the focus distance switch as well, which is always useful to have in a lens like this. You've also got 2 custom buttons on the lens, which is always handy for how you want to control things. And of course, a tripod mount, which is absolutely necessary for a lens of this kind of size and weight. You're going to want that on there. This is an extremely solid addition to the lineup of lenses that are available for these cameras. And actually, especially with OM System feeling very much like an out and about, right? Nature, wildlife, landscape, really outdoors adventure series of cameras. And that certainly feels the same with the OM1 II. It's great to have an even longer telephoto zoom lens like this. This is giving you incredible reach. And if you pair this up with a teleconverter as well, you are getting unbelievable reach and great performance as well. So really it goes hand in hand. Of course, because like I say, it's Micro Four Thirds, you're really able to actually use this handheld. Whereas for the same sort of thing, 1200 millimeters handheld on a full frame system, you know, it gets a little bit dicey. It does get a little bit dicey. But for Micro Four Thirds, absolutely doable. I think if you shoot wildlife, if you shoot nature stuff, you absolutely should check this lens out because I think it's a lovely companion. And if you're thinking about getting the OM1 lovely little companion lens. Well, not so little, but lovely, lovely companion lens to go alongside it. Now you can check out both of these, the full pricing, all the spec, all of the key info that you want to know by checking out the link down in the description to go and see all of the fun stuff that you want to see. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well because there's new stuff all of the time. We've got a full review on the OM1 on the channel as well, so you can check that out. Spoilers, I absolutely loved it. Loved it. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video, but until then, as always, thanks for watching.